Hey guys, Get Your Reporter here. I know it's been a while. I haven't put a video up in what feels like forever, but I've been working on videos like non-stop for the past 2 months. I just haven't put them up yet because YouTube changed their uploader and makes things really slow. And I had that whole Nightmare on Elm Street retrospective I've been working on for. I'm so sick of Freddy Krueger right now. But I decided it's time for me to get out of the house. I need to go out and do something else for a little bit. Still horror related, considering it's Halloween-ish time. And I know I did a trailer length for this movie a couple months ago for Paranormal Activity 4. People who know me know I am a huge fan of the Paranormal Activity series because they do something that horror lacks. They are so atmospheric. They are like they don't really rely on kind of like scares that you usually have in movies. It's very atmospheric. The characters act intelligently to a point, and they're just really, really fun. They are the best of the found footage genre. And I stand by that. And where do I stand on Paranormal Activity 4? It sucks. And you know what? I hate myself for saying that. Paranormal Activity 4 is everything good about the Paranormal Activity series, and it's just gone. The word that comes to my mind is dumb. Oh my gosh, where do I even begin? I guess I can start with the setting of this one. It's so... This is not the... Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start. Okay, I went to the movie theater to get away from bad cinema, knowing Paranormal Activity 4. How can this go wrong? Because, you know, I like 1, I love 2, and I really, really love 3. And Paranormal Activity 4, good God. I don't even know. So Paranormal Activity 4 is the first official sequel, which is odd. Because those of you who know about the Paranormal Activity series know that there's 1, Paranormal Activity 2 is the prequel, and Paranormal Activity 3 is the prequel to 2. Paranormal Activity 4 is the sequel to 1. It's confusing, mundane, but you can't really make a setting in the 70s, because they keep going back like a decade every prequel. You can't really do this scenario in the 70s. I mean, you could, but you're pushing the limits pretty far, which doesn't really seem to matter anymore, because, you know, they have fun ways of, like, rotating cameras and stuff like that throughout the entire Paranormal Activity series, and now we've introduced, it's modern day, it's 2011-ish, and we've introduced that Skype is a thing, and, the characters use Skype for the majority of the film for their recordings, and you know what? Fine. You know what? That's probably the direction I'd go with it, is using Skype. The other source of recording that they use is the Xbox Kinect. What? I mean, their argument is that ghosts will pick up infrared lighting, so they use the Kinect's infrared settings to pick up the ghost. It's stupid. And where does this one go wrong? I'm kind of digging a hole with this one, but Paranormal Activity, all 3 of them, the thing about them is that you knew they weren't real, but you could buy it, if I'm making sense. Like, Paranormal Activity 1, 2, and 3, they were set enough into the real world where you bought it. You know, there's some, like, things that you're like, oh, that could never happen. That, well, you know, it's ghosts. I mean, either you believe in Paranormal Activity stuff or you don't. But, if you understand what I'm saying, they're set in a real enough world to where, you know, you can follow the characters, you can like the characters, you can believe in the actions the characters are creating. And Paranormal Activity 4, not a single character is smart, nor do you like them. That's a real problem. That's a really bad problem, especially in a found footage movie. To be able to tolerate, you know, the camera shakes and all that stuff. Which is another thing I'm going to talk about. Paranormal Activity 4 deals with shaky cam. Now, it's not like Quarantine bad, it's not like Cloverfield bad, but it deals with shaky cam. Which, you know, the first 3 did too, but it was subtle. It rarely happened, and when it did happen, it was when the shit was getting real. Paranormal Activity 4, they don't even carry a camera around, they carry like a laptop around everywhere they go, which, no, why would you do that? And 2, like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's so unnatural. Like, if there was paranormal stuff around your house, get the camera. Don't lug your laptop around. It's stupid. The whole movie's stupid. And, you know, another thing that's bad about this movie is that for a found footage movie, it should not feel directed. And this movie feels directed, especially in the editing. The editing in this movie is terrible. There's a scene that stands out perfectly in my mind. There's a scene where the kid is, there's a little kid sitting in a bathtub. This is slight spoilers, but who cares? There's a kid sitting in a bathtub, and you're just saying to your, okay, that's another thing. This movie follows nearly every cliche I can think of. I was able to name off almost every single scare. Every single jump scare. Paranormal Activity. For 3 movies, we've dealt with jump scares, of course, but you know what? They were subtle. You barely predicted them. And when there was enough of them where it was like, hey, oh my gosh, you startled me there. No. Paranormal Activity 4, every single scare is a jump scare. What the fuck happened? There is no way I can believe this is done by the exact same people. There had to be a different writer, a different director, something. Cause, no! Paranormal Activity, they're known for their atmosphere. You do not need jump scares to carry a movie. That's the entire movie, is pointless jump scares. Anyway, where was I going with this? The editing. Okay, the kid is... the kid's sitting in a bathtub and you're just saying to yourself, I know he's gonna go under. He's gonna go... Yep, he just went under the water. He's gonna drown. And so... Actually, before all that happened, the kid's like maybe 5 or 6 years old, and his mom is helping him bathe. Because, you know, young kid, or whatever. But, she says, hold on a second. I gotta go get something. And so she leaves this little infant in a tub of water, which, redcon, bad parenting, I guess, but, so, the kid gets pulled underwater, and what happens? Who edited this shit? Because whenever a kid goes under the water, the camera, especially in a found footage movie, the camera should not cut to something else. You know, this kid is dying. This kid is under the water, dying. And so, what do? We cut to something less important. Why would you, in a found footage movie, why would you edit it like a movie? I do not understand that. They edited this whole movie like a movie. And it is a movie, but it's also a found footage mockumentary in a way. And you do not do that. Good God. So, okay, and what's even better is they cut to the mom, and what is she doing? She is making a fucking sandwich. She's making a fucking sandwich while her kid is drowning. I know she doesn't know her kid is drowning, but, you know, she shouldn't have left her kid in the first place. Am I wrong in thinking that? I mean, I'm not a parent. But you know what? If my kid was in a tub and I was like, they weren't able enough to like clean themselves or whatever, you know what? I'd stay in there. I would make sure that the kid was not like gonna be harmed by a huge body of water, you know? You do not leave your unprotected kid in a tub of water to go make a fucking sandwich. A fucking sandwich! God, I hated this movie. Oh, and the whole movie is unnecessary. There's not a single thing that is introduced or answered about the previous films. Not a single question was answered about any of the previous films. And actually, if it did anything, it added questions. Which, Paranormal Activity 5 is inevitable. We're going to get a Paranormal Activity 5, because even if you hate the Paranormal Activity, if you were a fan at all of any of the other three, you're kind of guaranteed to go see the fourth one. You know? And so, I can't tell you anything that's going to make you not want to see this movie, because you're going to see it anyways if you're a fan of the previous ones. I can't change your mind, but good God. I don't even know where to go with this one. The characters are stupid. No one makes a single, wise decision. And, okay, the thing I was going to talk about, this is, on my way home, I was thinking about this the whole time, because Paranormal Activity 1, 2, and 3, people argued that, why don't they just call the fucking cops? And I actually have an answer to that. I mean, it's not a good answer, but it's an average answer, you know? If you're gonna call the cops and say, like, oh my god, there are ghosts, all over my house, where people are getting, terrorized, there's, weird graffiti on the walls, what are we gonna do? And, you know, the cops are gonna be like, you have ghosts in your house. Huh? Funny. Call us when you have a real emergency. I mean, let's be honest. The cops are not gonna come rushing to your house over paranormal stuff. It's just not gonna happen. I mean, I guess you could show them proof that, hey, we actually have this stuff filmed, you know? We had this, shit proof that you guys need to see. But, I mean, even with that said, I mean, you can fake that stuff easily. I mean, maybe not in the 80s and 90s, but you know what I mean. In this one, Paranormal Activity 4, the ghost is basically taking advantage of a real life form. This little, 8-year-old kid named, Robbie, I think is his name. And the ghost is kind of, in the mind of this kid, causing him to do all this weird stuff. That's a human being. Again, another spoiler. It's like this scene where this little kid breaks into the house of the main character, Alex, the girl. And he, lays next to her in bed and starts, fondling her. This, little infant kid. And their argument was, oh, his mom had to go to the hospital. He's, really, really, down, depressed. He needs comfort. Where is this kid staying? Who is he with? You do not break into your neighbor's house and fondle the 15-year-old daughter. Especially when you're 8 years old. Call the cops! You know? It's an actual being. I know it's an 8-year-old kid. He needs help. He needs therapy. He is being possessed by some sort of ungodly, undevilish creature. Help the poor kid. Call the cops. Do something to help the kid. Because you're not. The characters stand around and just act stupid. Oh my god, the parents in this movie. The parents in this movie are up there with the worst characters in cinema history, and that's saying a lot. They give the parents in Transformers a run for their money. I mean, they are so stupid. And they're the kind of parents where, the 15-year-old girl is like, oh my god, I saw a shadowy figure in my closet. And the parents are like, yeah, you're just stressed out over school, honey. You're gonna be fine. No, I really thought... No, you're fine. I mean... Sure, if it was a little kid, you know, the third movie, when the little girl was like, Toby, my imaginary friend named Toby, you know, I can kind of buy that. You know, it's a little girl creating an imaginary friend, crazy imagination. When a 15-year-old is saying, I'm seeing freaky shit in my house, help me, pay some attention to your fucking daughter. Because, I mean, even if you don't believe in paranormal stuff, there's obviously some shit going down. Do something! You're the adults! Oh my god. The movie is... I hate seeing this about a movie, but this movie exists for no other reason than to be a cash grab. I hate saying that. It's like... I did a review on Chernobyl Diaries, which was done by the same people. I hate saying Chernobyl Diaries is better, but it kind of was. And I feel like their hearts were in that movie more than this one. Paranormal Activity being the gold mine that it is. I mean, millions upon millions of dollars, because viewers love that shit. I love that shit. I mean, I was a humongous fan. You will not find a bigger fan of that series in this town than me. It's gold. It's genius. It's amazing. And it's really, really well done. And then the fourth one comes around. This movie fucking sucks. There's... Bottom line, because... Okay. Note to any cinema watchers out there who are watching this, you're not. Any young filmmakers out there. If you are going to do a horror film, a found footage horror film, there are rules that you must abide. You cannot use music. Takes you completely out of the movie. You cannot make it look like it's been edited. And you have to have a good script. I lost count of the scenes where, okay, the thing about this one is that this little kid, whenever we walked into a room, like, the light, like, it has some sort of, like, electrical surge going through, and whenever we, like, walk into a room, the lights flicker, the TV turns staticky. For some odd reason, the laptops never go out. That's another thing! Oh my god! I can't believe I almost left this out. Okay. The laptops. They use the webcams on the laptops. They rarely use an actual camera in this movie. But I looked it up. There is not a laptop that will use infrared or night vision without spending like $15,000. And I doubt that these 15-year-old kids have $15,000. So that's completely blown out of the water. That doesn't make any fucking sense why they're able to document this footage whenever they are using technology that doesn't even exist in 2011. And it's just edited. It feels edited. You do not do that with a documentary film. Or a found footage movie. You know what I mean. But you know the orchestra sting. You know, like, whenever a jump scare happens in a movie and you hear like the zing sound. Hold on, phone. That's in this movie. The one thing that you never do in a found footage movie is add music. Why? Because music does not exist in real life. At least not, like, if I was just gonna, like, start eating my cereal at the table, you're not gonna hear, like, happy country music playing while, like, you know what I mean? If I'm walking through a scary house, you're not gonna hear eerie music. You're not gonna... If I, like, fell down right now and broke my leg, you're not gonna hear, like, a sound. Oh my god. It's Paranormal Activity. The first three are fucking gold mines, and the fourth one, they got everything wrong. Everything. like, the effects are worse. The storyline is complete bullshit. Because all they're doing is contradicting the past movies, and they're just setting up for a fifth movie. That's all they're doing, is setting up for a fifth film. I don't know what to tell you guys. I obviously liked it. I obviously liked the franchise. I know that for those of you who are interested in the Paranormal Activity series, you're not even going to listen to this review. I mean, God bless you if you've made it this far. But you're already going to see it if you've seen the other three. Or, if anything, my reviews convinced you to be like, oh, it can't be that bad. It's that bad. And I didn't want to believe it. I heard some bad reviews going in, but you know what? I kind of expected it. Because Paranormal Activity does have a very 50-50 crowd. Some people say, nothing happens in this movie, it's boring, it's slow, the characters are dumb, which, you know, maybe they are. I've never found them to be that stupid until the fourth one. So, I understood bad reviews going in. I did not expect fucking this. If you're a fan, you're gonna feel hurt. Like, this movie kind of hurt me. And it makes me sad. Like, it really does. Like, Paranormal Activity 4 was finally, like, the revolution of found footage movies. Like, you have, like, Blair Witch Project, which none of the found footage movies would probably even exist if you didn't have the Blair Witch Project, which, you know, fair. It was probably scary back then, doesn't hold up that well if you rewatch it, but, you know, it's like Paranormal Activity, yeah, like Quarantine, it sucked. You had Cloverfield, it sucked. You had Chronicle, which was a different take on it, and it was okay. But then you had Paranormal Activity 1, 2, and 3. You had likable characters. You had intelligent characters. You had a damn good storyline. And it was scary. It really, really was. I mean, I've said it before. Like, you're sitting in your bed, you're like, that was kind of a cool movie, and you're like, and you like hear the house settling, you hear cracks, you hear like creaking noises on the floor as someone like walks around upstairs. And it's it's unsettling. It's freaky. And what does the fourth one give us? Along the lines of scares. The fourth one gives us along the lines of scares of someone going blah, 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 blah. Roll credits. The one thing I can say about this movie is, believe it or not, it probably does have the best acting of all four movies. And that's fortunate, but doesn't save the movie. I mean, all four movies have a really good acting. And this one probably does have the best. However, the script was so half-assed. It answered no questions. It only added. Final thoughts. Like I said, if you're a fan, you're already gonna watch it. If you actually enjoyed this movie, I guess that's one more thing I should probably mention, is that I think I see what they did. Because Paranormal Activity, the first three, they did have a 50-50 audience. Either you liked it, or you didn't. And in this one, I feel like they're trying to get around to all the crowds. Because this one was the bloodiest, and it had maybe 6, like, death kills to it. Like, there was probably 6 murders in this movie. And it's like they're trying to get the atmosphere, the gore hounds, and the, like, serial killers, like, all together. Like, the body count people who are, like, love Saw, and, like, I just want to see more carnage. This one kind of has that. It's bad carnage, it doesn't make any sense, and it's fucked up. It's all jump scares. Paranormal Activity 1, 2, and 3, atmospheric, eerie, scary, unsettling. 4, jump scare, jump scare, jump scare, jump scare, and predictable as all hell. I have not seen a movie I've been able to count every single jump scare. I mean, I watch horror films all the time. Being a film critic, cinema is kind of my life. And to be able to call off every single jump scare, movies can earn that. Movies can have jump scares that work. Paranormal Activity 1, 2, and 3 are complete proof of that. They can work. You do not need every single scare to be a fucking jump scare. And the day horror realizes that, it might actually start being good again. All horror is, nowadays, is fucking jump scares. Jump scares are not scary. Jump scares are dumb. Paranormal Activity 4 was fucking dumb. And I don't like saying it. I love the franchise. If we could remove the last film, I mean, there's a good movie there. Because there really is. I like the idea of them finally going forward. I really do. Because once you get into the 70s, there's very little you can do. Now, it's 2011. And the Paranormal Activity series. There's a lot you can do. With the same atmosphere, the same timing. Paranormal Activity 1, 2, and 3, I'll even admit to this, that it is the same formula in all 3 movies, just different scares, just different types of ways to manipulate the watcher's mind. They're like looking in one direction and something over here happens, you know? They tried doing that in this one, but I think the gimmick's kind of worn off. And for Paranormal Activity 4 to work, they needed something bigger. They needed more destruction. They needed the ghost to break all hell loose. And then, they might have had a good movie. As it stands, no. I can't even really rate this one. I've kind of thrown away the rate gimmick, because, like, people are going to think I'm comparing movies to other movies, but you want my opinion, just don't watch it. You're going to, if you're a fan of Paranormal Activity. So those words mean nothing, but don't watch it. Waste of time, waste of horror, waste of film. I wish I had better news for you. I'm going to go see Sinister very soon as well. Not today, but sometime this week. Hopefully, that will improve that will uplift my feelings toward horror once again, because, damn, what a fucking letdown. Horror films are at that stage. I know I need to stop rambling. This is probably like the longest review I've ever done, I think, but when you're so passionate about a series, and you see something like this, it makes you sad. It really does. Some people might be like, oh my gosh, Paranormal Activity 4, I love this shit. Give us more of this stuff. And I used to be that way. I mean, Paranormal Activity 4 had been like very similar to Paranormal Activity 3, but you know, the 5th one comes out, I'm gonna watch it. It'll come out next year. They seem to have it yearly. I guess that's everything for you. I mean, Halloween's right around the corner, so happy early Halloween. Do not watch Paranormal Activity 4. Watch a good found footage movie like Paranormal Activity 1, 2, or 3. Not 4. Never 4. Well, I guess that's everything. I feel like I've signed off like 6 times now, but okay, that's it. Happy Halloween, everybody, and let's get your reporter out. Stay scared.